So next we're about to go into exclusive audio from Neek at Night. She got a hold of Kelsey's confessional in the interrogation room for her describing how the night went. So let's get into that.
Not want to get in the car. He didn't want to get in the car with us. Like I said, at that point, I'm not aware of why. So anyways, we leave. So at that point, it's like, okay, no, we have to go because her appearance isn't, it's not holding up correct.
Yeah.
So I went inside and I said, Megan, like, let's go. She didn't even know her wig was coming off. And I said, your wig. So that made her come on and get up out the pool. So Tory stayed in with Kylie. So we come outside. This time, we're making our plans to leave. I guess at some point she tells EJ, no, Tory's taking us home. So they transferred the luggage from EJ's car to Tory's car. And so once they did that, Megan jumped in the front seat. Now Quan's driving, and I'm in the back seat behind Megan.
And EJ just drives off in his own car, right?
Not just yet. Okay. So I want to be clear and make sure I'm not losing my. Okay, so once we do that, Megan, she tells Quan to get Tory, like it's time to go. So Quan goes in to grab Tory. We stay in the car. Tory comes out and he's like, no, take them home. His demeanor was, he didn't want to get in the car. Why? I don't know.
Tory didn't want to get in the
car. Didn't want to get in the car.
Did he seem upset at all?
It wasn't that he was upset. I think he wasn't upset. He did not want to get in the car. He didn't want to get in the car with us. Like I said, at that point, I'm not aware of why. So anyways, we leave. So Tory stays at the house with Kylie. It's me, Quan, and Megan. So we leave. EJ follows out behind us. He goes home. Because there's no reason for him to follow us. He's going home. So as we're leaving, Megan is still doing this laugh. I'm kind of just in the back seat, just like, I don't know, just in the back seat. And then I guess she realizes that she had left a Louis Vuitton slide that she wears. And so she demanded Quan to take us back to Kylie's. And so we pull up to Kylie's house and everybody's kind of confused. Her security guards are outside, probably like 6 security guards.
Talking about Kylie's security guards?
Correct. And he calls to see if it's okay. We come back and they let us in. So once they let us in, Megan jumps out the vehicle. I stay in the vehicle. Quan follows behind Megan. So it's just me at this point.
Oh, Quan actually gets out of the car with Meg.
Right.
Okay. So
they're inside. It's for a little moment. Then immediately they rush out. Everybody rushes out. Tory,
everybody? Okay.
Tory, Quan, Megan. Kylie, she comes out, but she stays on her porch, or her door entry. So Megan jumps back in the front seat. Tory gets in the car, which is now he's behind Quan. He's behind the driver. I'm still behind the front passenger. And Megan says, sorry, I gotta cuss, but she says, bitch. Kylie said, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And I was like, what? Like, why? And so Quan was like, they were in their argument, I guess, Tory and Megan. And so what they were arguing about, I don't know. So it was kind of like, whoa, okay. And now we're leaving.
And so Megan's in the front, Quan's driving, you're in the back seat behind Quan.
Megan.
Or behind Megan, and Tory's behind Quan.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're leaving. We're driving, going down the road. Megan is laughing still. It's like an uncontrollable laugh. And just out of curiosity, I want to know what's funny. So I'm like, what is funny? Like, what is going on? And that's when Tory butts in, and he's like, yeah, Megan, why don't you tell your best friend what's so funny? Why don't you tell her how fake you are? And so I'm confused because this was random. And so I said, what? Like, what are you talking about? And Megan's like, Kelsey, don't listen to him. He's just trying to make you mad. And so I'm like, what are you talking about? And, next thing you know, the arguing, began with Tory and Megan. They're arguing, they're taking jabs at each other. He's calling her out her name. He's calling her, like, I've never heard him speak like this,
The stuff he was saying.
I can't honestly recall, like, verbatim. He was definitely calling her, like, bitches and hoes. And so, I stepped in and I said, you're not going to talk to my friend like that. Like, I don't care what y'all got going on, but you're not going to talk to her like that in front of me. So he got offended, and now me and him are arguing. And we're taking, honestly, when I argue, I can say things that are hurtful too. So he was saying mean things, so I was saying mean things back to him. And
do you remember any of the change?
I'm about to get to what I do remember. He began to say, I'm from, like, he just started, like, I'm from Canada, like, basically, I guess insinuating that they're gangsters or something. I don't know. I'm from Canada, my nigga. Like, do you know? And I'm like, okay. And like, so, now we're just going back and forth. So he reached, like he was going to grab something. He reached towards the middle console, but he never pulled anything out.
Now, can you describe the middle console on the car? There's like I assume like some type of flat cover or lid.
Correct.
And then when he reached towards it, you just saw what? His hand moving?
Yeah, it was just a motion that he reached. He never opened it or, so it was just a motion. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, and if you shoot me, then I guess it's my time to go. Like, and if you shoot me, just know I have people who will ride behind me, in my support, and he's like, he just talking mess still, him and Megan, me and him. So then Megan, I guess we're on Sunset Boulevard at this time. And Megan demands for, sorry, that's mine.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Megan demands for Quan to pull the vehicle over. So we pull over and we're actually by a bus stop. Megan jumps out the vehicle. Tory follows behind her. Quan stays in. I stay in because it's just like we're in the middle of a road. Like we're just arguing. This is, So Tory and Megan, they sit at the bus stop. They have, I don't know what conversation they had, a conversation if any, but when they got back in the vehicle, it was calm. Tory then began to...
When they got back in the vehicle, do you remember where everyone was sitting?
Yes, sorry. Megan got back in the front seat. Tory got back in behind Quan, so behind the driver's seat. So it was calm. Everybody was calm. Tory then began to apologize to me. And he's just like, I'm sorry, Kelsey, you're just a real ass nigga, and I had to tell you. And I'm like, what?
An apology.
Right, and so I'm like, but he's saying it loud. And so Megan can hear this. So that kind of started her back up. So now they're arguing back together. At this point, it's uncontrollable. Can't stop it.
And do you remember anything at this point that was being said between them?
At this point, they're arguing about each other's artistry as a career as an artist. She's telling him, like, you're only this and that because you're on a remix with Jack Harlow. And he's telling her things about her career as an artist, which I can't remember what he was telling her, but they just started hitting each other with their career as an artist. So now we're at the final, the next stop where the incident occurs. And this time Tory demands Quan to let us out. He's like, let these hoes out, let these bitches out the car. This is my car. And so we're like, okay, we'll get out. So he pulled the car over and
he got nice exclusive.
Everything here transpires. Megan jumps out of her seat, which is the front seat. I open up my door, which I'm behind Megan. And when you're getting out of a vehicle, you're not really just like looking at any direction. You're just kind of getting out the vehicle, Especially we didn't expect anything to happen next, so we're just getting out the vehicle. I get out of my side, and no sooner do you know, you start hearing gunshots going off. I look up about it was 5 gunshots. I look up maybe at the second or third gunshot. That's when I look up, and you see Tory. He's now in the front seat. I guess he must have jumped over. It was very smooth transition because we didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. and he's leaning over the door is open, and he's leaning over like the door window.
Which door? Is it the rear
right,
door?
the front right. So where Megan was sitting.
Okay, so his door's open in the
driver's
side.
My door's open in the back, and the front door is open to where Megan got out. The front right passenger.
Both doors on the passenger side
are open. Correct. So.
And is he shooting through the window or over the top of the door?
No, he's shooting over the top of the door. So
over the top of the door would be the rear passenger door.
The right front
passenger.
So again, as I said, he must have jumped, or I don't know how he did it because it was very very smooth. And he was leaning over the front passenger door, and she was shooting the gun.
Where were you standing at this point?
At this point, I'm standing kind of like my body's still like to the side behind the door, the rear passenger door. So I would say my left side was the rear passenger, and my right side was kind of like this. Like this is the door, and
Are you still partially in?
And I've described it like a deer in headlights.
Mm-hmm.
I'm short. I'm 4'11". The vehicle is kind of a little raised up higher than me, so I can't really see. I can only see from her chest up. That's all I can see. But the way Tory was angling the gun is kind of like, it wasn't like straight. It was like, down.
Mm-hmm.
It was down in her direction?
Definitely in her direction. In the air, yeah, definitely in her direction. So at that point, we kind of were in shock,
Did you hear him say anything as he was shooting?
He did not say anything.
Okay.
There was no words at that point,
What was Quan doing? Could you tell?
I think everybody was in shock.
Okay, so he wasn't.
He wasn't
part
even
of it.
at this point right here. He wasn't part of this. What I'm about to get into next. I can't tell you guys where Tory pulled the gun from. Like I said, the motion when he first threatened me was middle console, but and so after the shots rang, it was like I said, 5 shots. We kind of froze, and by the time I get back into I snapped. Megan had either crawled or walked or limped over to. She's in a driveway. She's in a driveway on the side of the driver's side. She's in a driveway. Tory sits down
in the front passenger seat.
In the front passenger seat.
Okay.
He's sitting. I guess just kind of shocked also. So I run over to her. I immediately ran to her. She's the forefront of my thoughts. My job as a friend in general is just naturally to protect my friend, protect. So now I'm in defense mode on the behalf of Megan. I ran to her. She's on the floor. I never looked at her feet. I never really just got to look at her. I just know when I ran to her and she grabbed me, she had blood. So in my head, she had got shot because shots just went off and she's bleeding.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So I see Tory coming around the vehicle. It's dark. Lights are flat, hitting him. It's almost like a scary scene. So again, I'm in defense mode. I see him coming around the vehicle, and in my head, I'm thinking he's about to come over here and attack us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see whether or not when he's coming around the vehicle if he still has the gun?
I don't believe he had the gun.
Okay.
So like I said, I just thought he was coming over to attack us. So I stepped in between where he was coming to where Megan was. And at that point, that's when the assault between me and him happened. He assaulted me. And Quan then he just comes and he picks me up like a little doll. And he's like, Kelsey, they do this all the time. And I said, huh? She's bleeding. She's been shot. I don't know if y'all know she's shot. By that time, he's already to where Megan's at. So, I don't know what goes on in that driveway.
Who comes towards Megan? Is that Quan or Tory?
So initially, Tory comes, and that's where I stepped in, and we had an altercation. He physically assaulted me, and then Quan came and separated him from me.
What exactly did he do when he was assaulting you?
Remember? I mean, everything. My adrenaline was so high. I don't know if he was hitting me with a closed fist or slapping me. It was just a physical altercation.
Were you wearing a necklace that night?
I was, and I'm gonna go to that part too. Now Tory's in the driveway with Megan. Quan is holding me. Like I said, he's big. He just picked me up and said, "They do this all the time, Kelsey." And I said, "Huh? No, like she's bleeding. She's been shot, to my knowledge." And so I'm still in defense mode. I'm still in, like
night exclusive.
I look up and I see the vehicle is in the middle of the road and it's on. The door is open. So my initial reaction is to cause a distraction, and I jumped into the vehicle and I threw it in jerk. And it worked.
What does that mean?
I just jerked it, made it move.
Okay.
Made it move just to get him away from Megan. Because in my head, I'm thinking he's over here gonna just attack.
So you got in the driver's seat of the car and moved it.
And I jerked. I made it jerk.
Okay.
I didn't even move it. I didn't even drive or anything. I just made it jerk.
Okay.
And so when I did that, it did exactly what I needed it to do: get Tory away from Megan. And so I don't know how he got to the vehicle. I don't know if he ran or walked, but he got to me really quick. And that's when he started pulling me by my hair. He was pulling me by my hair really hard. And again, I wasn't afraid for my life when the incident was going on with Megan. I was in defense mode. But then I became afraid for my life when he started pulling my hair and my neck, because it was really, really hard. That's when the necklace.
When you said he pulled on your neck, what do you mean?
He was almost I didn't lose my breath, so I wouldn't say choking, but he was pulling my neck and my hair, and then so here comes Quan again, Quan he's in between us, but Tory has a good grip. He's not letting go, so it's kind of like tug of war at this point with my head and body, and I'm scared, and I kind of dumb myself down just to get him to let me go. And I said, "Tory, what are we doing? What are we doing?" And when I said that, he released. He let go. And so now Megan is standing. We're all standing at the front driver door.
Did you see how Megan got to the front driver door?
I can't tell. No, she just looked like